Hey everybody, welcome back to the Working Man's Whiskey. I'm Bobby. Today's review I'd like to do, guys, is Crater Lake Straight American Rye Whiskey. And this one here, it's 100% rye. I think they've actually upped the rye mash bill on this one. It's 100% rye now. I think it used to be, I want to say it was 95% rye and 5% malted barley. And it was only aged for a year. Now we have 100% rye and a 2-year-old product. It says on the back, aged 2 years. So it's still a pretty young whiskey here. And the company claims that they do that on purpose to kind of keep the fresh notes of the whiskey. And it's also non-chill filtered. And the reason for that is that filtration sometimes will strip a whiskey, especially a young whiskey that, may not have as much time to build character as, an ultra-aged whiskey. That filtration process sometimes strips a whiskey, a young whiskey, of some flavor. And Crater Lake, they're trying to keep as much of that flavor in this whiskey as possible. So it's kind of interesting what they do as far as that goes, and you'll see when I pour this. This is pretty. It has a pretty cloudy look in the glass, and that's also intended. They say, it says right here, it says naturally cloudy. We do that on purpose, and it's from the process in which they make this whiskey, and it's it's their own thing that they're doing. It's pretty cool. Kind of different than a lot of other people are doing their craft whiskeys these days. This one here, guys, the Crater Lake, or let's see, Bend Distillery, it's called, from Bend, Oregon. They've been around since, I believe, 1996, and they were making other spirits before, gin, vodka, and then they moved on to whiskey. So that's what we have right here. This is a pretty, fairly new product, probably within the last, few years anyway. And this offering at 100% rye, as I mentioned, is very new. It used to be 95% rye, still pretty good there. But I'll read you the back of this bottle, guys. It says, by the way, I'm going to try to keep this as short as possible. Kind of a long day today, guys, and I just found out I got to be up about 2 a.m. for work tomorrow, so may keep this fairly short. So it says, there was a time when every town in America had a distillery making rye whiskey. Crater Lake rye whiskey is reviving the tradition of these small family brands that were lost during Prohibition. Distilled from 100% Northwest-grown rye grain, pure Cascade Mountain water, and never chill filtered, our rye is rich with deep toffee notes and the peppery spice that defines true American rye whiskey. And that's by Jim Bendis, who's the founder of Crater Lake Spirits. So anyway, as I said, it's a 2-year-old product, 80 proof, 40% ABV. So you're pretty standard, as far as alcohol content goes. All right. And I will tell you though, this one, probably from the rye, maybe from a little bit of the rawness of being a fairly young whiskey, I would have told you it was a little bit higher proof than that 80 it says in the bottle. So anyway, it's a very light color, guys. Not a whole lot of stick to the glass as you would imagine. It's being a 2-year-old whiskey, it's pretty young, but we'll see what we have here. Give it a nose. Okay, guys, on the nose, you get that rye spice in there for sure. That wet wood type note, sawdust. I get a lot of fruit in this one though. Mainly dried fruits, raisins, apricots. Just has that really, and I love that nose. I love that note on the nose, I should say. It's got a lot of that dry fruit in there. And there's a bit of honey in here as well, and I also get a little bit of leather there on the nose. So let's take a sip. And on the palate, a lot of those same notes. Definitely getting that dry fruit note, that rye. I mean, being 100% rye, it's pretty darn spicy. Pretty darn spicy. Very good though. Very very good, especially for a young whiskey. You know, and not to knock young whiskeys, but you never know. It's kind of a little bit of a crapshoot when it comes to really young whiskeys, a year or two old. Uh, you're not quite sure which way it's going to go. This one though, um, some very good, probably that non chill filtered fact about this whiskey is doing it a big favor. I mean, being that young, it's got to contain or keep all the natural notes from that short aging process as possible, and I think they've done a really nice job here. So let's take another taste and see what we got. Yeah. So wet wood, sawdust, leather, uh, dried fruit, raisins again, dates, um, definitely some honey in there. Uh, it's got some good stuff going on for it. This probably isn't going to be for everybody. Um, you know, the thing is, I love all kinds of whiskey. I love bourbon. Bourbon's my number one go to. I love rye whiskey. Scotch, I love that McCarthy's was amazing that I reviewed on here. Very good stuff coming out of Oregon. This one, the reason I say it's not for everybody, it just being you can taste a little bit of the youth in there for sure, um, and a lot of people don't like that just straight spiciness. You know, I mean, you get a lot of good rye notes on a lot of good bourbons, a lot of bourbon, but you got that sweetness as well in there and all that. This is not. This is not that. This is a straight rye whiskey. It's not very sweet. Maybe a tiny bit of like a caramel slash toffee note to it, but just a small little note there. This is mainly you're going to get spice, you're going to get that leather, and you're going to get that dried fruit, and that's about it, guys. Very good whiskey here. Nonetheless, this one I'll give this one an 86 out of 100. This is a really good whiskey, solid whiskey that great to drink straight. I'll drink this neat, of course, but I can see this being really good in cocktails as well. This would make some very good cocktails. A good Manhattan, good old fashioned. There's just so many things you can do with different spirits. And rye whiskey is just it's one of those. It was I love it neat, but rye whiskey I feel like was almost made as a not made as just a mixer, but it's perfect as a mixer. Just gives you that spiciness, that fruitiness, and it's really good, guys. So 86 out of 100. That's it for this one. I don't know if my next review is going to be a live one yet. So I'm trying to figure out this process, guys. So if anybody knows how to do a live review, on YouTube, please let me know. I know how to do one via Facebook, but my tech smarts are pretty limited, guys. So let me know if anybody knows how to do a live YouTube feed. Please let me know, and we'll go from there. So yeah, that's it, guys. Please subscribe if you haven't already. Like my my Facebook page, The Working Man's Whiskey, and look forward to talking to y'all soon. And hopefully one of these days I'll get a live review on here. Look forward to talking to you guys, and I'll see you next time. Cheers.